Beautiful people, it's not unbearably boiling today. And when I say that, I do realise that 33 degrees isn't like maybe crazy weather, but the UK isn't really built for hot weather. Our buildings and our transport and just generally, we haven't really adjusted to the change in our climate because we do tend to get this every year now, but oof, what I wouldn't do for some air conditioning, do you know what I mean? Anyway, I've still had a few hot days though this week, so you will notice there are quite a few hot weather ones. And like I said last weekend when I filmed my last one of these, it was so hot, it was hideous. Happily, when I'm making this video, I don't have to have my fan on because I've actually got a breeze from outside. Could you imagine such a thing? The flat is currently down to 24 degrees. I can live in that, that's fine. I'm going to start off with one that honestly, it killed me to not put this in my high heat summer video I just put out on Wednesday, but everyone talks about this, I talk about this, like it's just so well known, but I do love this in hot weather and I always wear it in summer. This is Still by Jennifer Lopez, one of my absolute favourite bottles in my collection. I adore the colour of this glass. I love the very delicate faceted kind of geometric shapes on this, and it's got this kind of slightly blue toned gleam to the bottle on the outside. It's just perfect. This scent is perfect. It's really amazing that something so sheer and tea-like can also be so strong and long-lasting, but not ever overwhelming. You can spray the hell out of this. It won't overwhelm you. Not in hot weather anyway. In cold weather, this can be a bit sharp, but in hot weather, oh, it is absolutely stunning. I just love Still. So Still, as I said, it's a tea perfume. It's got loads of notes, but mainly what I get from this is jasmine tea and some green apple. I don't always like green apple. Often it puts me off, but it works so nicely in here, probably because it's mixed with a little bit of mandarin orange. But generally speaking, this is Earl Grey tea, and Earl Grey tea is a very perfumed tea. It's quite an unusual scent. I was watching Ron from My Fragrance Journey. If you don't watch him already, please go and check him out. He does great videos. But I think he said something about, he struggled with this one, and I think he said something about it having like an inky smell. And I kind of know what he means. I don't know if I'd ever described it as inky, but I think I know what he's pinpointing here. And to me, that is the Earl Grey tea. Like, Earl Grey has a very specific flavour and aroma, and that's why a lot of people are a bit funny about Earl Grey tea, and it's quite a posh tea. But I think that's what that is, and I totally can see exactly what Ron means when he says inky. But I love that about it. I think it's one of the things I find really special about this. But it also just genuinely smells like a cup of jasmine tea to me. Like when I do realise jasmine tea is made with green tea, but when I have jasmine tea, the aroma is one of my favourite things about it. And when it cools down, I feel like if you could put a slice of green apple, maybe just a little squeeze of mandarin orange into that cup of jasmine tea, I think that's what this smells like. So I love this. It's amazing in this weather. It's one of my absolute favourite tea perfumes, and if I didn't have loads of other things I hadn't talked about as much, this would have been in my summer video, because I think it's so good in high heat. I also think it's very chic, respectable, classy, and I've said before, if I have an important meeting at work in summer, I wear Still, because I think it smells very professional, it smells really clean, but it also smells a little bit interesting, and it lasts for ages, so you don't have to worry about respraying it. Anyway, the full set of notes: Earl Grey tea, white pepper, mandarin orange, apple and rice in the top. Mid notes: jasmine, lily of the valley, freesia, honeysuckle, orange blossom and rose in the mid. Base notes: pepper, musk, sandalwood, iris and amber. It's perfect. I love it. So this next one I'm going to talk about is one that I bought in a haul, and you would have, I mean, if you've been with me for years, you'd have seen this in a haul, and I haven't touched it since, and it's been in a box, and I was like, I just need to make up my mind as to what I'm doing with this particular perfume. And I mean, I think probably I'll end up getting rid of this because it's not really my kind of perfume, but I love the bottle, so I wanted to try it again. So this is That's Me by Fischer. I think you can still get hold of this one, but a lot of the Helen Fischer perfumes have kind of disappeared or are really hard to get. I think she's a German pop star. I don't really know any of her music, but I think really what I noticed about this was the bottle, because I just think it's a really cool bottle, like chipped out of ice or chipped out of crystal or something. And this is very much up my street, this kind of bottle, to be honest. Let me just put it up here next to Still. So this is Helen Fischer, and it's called, I think it's just called That's Me. Yeah, That's Me. I thought it had interesting notes. I took a bit of a chance because I think I probably got it for around €15 or something like that. I definitely got this from a European website, not from the UK, but it would have been a bargain, else I wouldn't have bothered to buy it as a blind buy. So top notes are peach, pink freesia, Italian tangerine. Mid notes are coconut, lotus and rose. The base notes are vanilla, musk and woody notes. Now, looking at that, I'm kind of like, why would I have bought this? And I think I went for it because it was compared to... What's it been compared to? I can't see anything that I would have deliberately chosen, so maybe it really was just a straight up blind buy. Compared to Bruno Banani, Woman's Best, and I like that one. So this is a sweet, powdery, girly... It is almost a little bit clean, but it's very sweet. It's sugary, sweet, slightly fruity, floral, with a powderiness. Almost smells like marshmallow to me, even though that's not listed. I think there's something about the vanilla and the coconut all mixed together that's just giving me a marshmallowy feel. But I think this is very pretty, don't get me wrong, but it really reminds me of the... Ariana Grande perfumes that are in the kind of round faceted bottles with the little pom-poms on. So this one to me really smells like Ari and Sweet Like Candy, like somewhere between those two perfumes. A little bit less like Moonlight, because I don't think this one's, because it's like a peachy fruitiness, it doesn't have that plumminess, but it's really in that neck of the woods. I think if you like Ariana Grande perfumes, you would be wild for this, because it is so pretty. It's so fluffy and sweet and feminine, but for me it's just a little bit too sweet. It's one of those things where I couldn't stop smelling it, and I can still smell it on the robe that I had on when I put this on, and I don't mind that smell, but it just, again, it's one of those things that just doesn't feel like me. I feel like I'm wearing someone else's perfume. But yeah, this is lovely, but I'm definitely not going to keep this one. As much as I like the bottle, it's just not really my kind of vibe. So let's have a look. What will fit up here now? What can I fit on here? I'm going to try it. It might be a little bit wobbly. I won't talk too much about this because I already covered this a little bit. This is Rive, Wave of Love. Looking very lurid there, isn't it? Let's just try and budge these along a little bit so it doesn't fall off the edge. So Wave of Love, it's another tea perfume. It is a dupe of Eclat de Arpège from Lanvin, but this is lilac-y and wisteria-y, and it's a little bit more feminine. Again, this is another one that I like to wear in summer. I don't really like wearing this in colder weather because it's a little bit sharp and a little bit too woody. It's in that light blue realm in terms of scent profile, but I think this is so much nicer. But then I don't get along with D&G perfumes like Dolce & Gabbana. There's something in the house DNA that really rubs me up the wrong way every time. Like, I don't have any of their perfumes. I have read lots of reviews about this one, and people say they don't get the lilac, they don't get the wisteria, they think it smells like a cleaning product, both this and Eclat de Arpège. I can see that more in colder weather, but in the right climate, I think this one is stunning. I really do get the lilac and wisteria, but it's very cut through with a very watery tea and lemon. And musk, and you definitely get that cedar. Yeah, you definitely get the cedar in it, but it's not overwhelming the way I find it in light blue. But yeah, so I just think this is such a wonderful perfume for warm weather. You do have to spray a lot of it. You do have to keep respraying it. It really doesn't last very long, but I think it's awesome. So the full set of notes are lilac, lemon, black elder in the top, mid notes of tea, wisteria, peony, peach and osmanthus, base notes of musk, amber and cedar. It's just a good one for summer. That's why I put it in my list. Where are we going to go to next? Okay. Oh, well. Oh, it was that hot. It's, you know, if I've been actually wearing this as a perfume, because I often spray this in hot weather on my bed, but when I wear it as a perfume as well, it's hot. I am overwhelmed by the heat. Oh, it's such a banger. It's such a shame that you can't get this anymore. I think you can get this as an eau de toilette nowadays. I've seen it on makeup.uk. Clean, fresh laundry and lavender. This is a massive bottle of their Eau Fraiche. What is this? 175 mls. I bought this new from Direct Cosmetics, and I am almost halfway through of a 175ml bottle. Now, I would like to point out, I said I spray it on my bed occasionally, but I don't do that often because I normally use Twilight on my bedding from Lush. So a lot of this is from wearing, but because it's an Eau Fraiche, you have to go ham. You want to respray it. I mean, what to say about it? It smells like fresh laundry and lavender. That's what it smells like. Watery, clean, fresh, wet laundry is what that smells like. It's absolutely gorgeous and delicious. I'm going to have a look at the notes, but I feel like... or maybe they have got all the notes. Yeah, it's got loads of notes. I don't know how it smells the way it does, but anyway. Top notes, fruity notes and pineapple, apparently. Middle notes, lavender, green grass, orchid, night blooming jasmine and star anise. Base notes, musk, tonka bean, amber, precious woods and patchouli. Does it smell like that? I mean, I don't know. It just somehow, all of those notes just create a chord that smells like fresh laundry. And then it's a wet laundry that has a lavender note in it, you know? I mean, that's basically it. I'm not getting all of those separate things, but it's lovely. I'm so glad that I bought that one. Next up, I said in my last video, I am gearing up. I might even do it today if I can find the time, but maybe next week. I'm going to do a watermelon video because I have a ton of perfumes now that have watermelon and I've just got a few new ones. So I'm going to talk about watermelon perfumes. I think it's a note that's really hard to capture, but I have had this particular little cheapie for a very long time and I still love it, and I still think it's one of, if not the best watermelon perfume you can get, in my humble opinion. So this is Adidas Get Ready, and I think this cost me about £4 for 30ml, and I've seen this recently. I think Direct Cosmetics might have this for around about £3.90 or something, £4. So this, it has notes of watermelon, grenadine, orange in the top, mid notes of sugarcane and lotus, base notes musk, cedar and amber. So because you've got that grenadine in there with the watermelon and the orange, it definitely does have a tiny bit of a very gentle watermelon Jolly Rancher on it, but it's not too candied. It's not, there's something about the lotus here that, although it's not coming across super floral, it cuts through really nicely and almost gives this a properly aquatic vibe and stops it from going too candy sweet. I wore this to work. I reapplied it a few times. It's not the strongest because I think it's just a little eau de toilette, but it's considerably better than a lot of other watermelon perfumes I've tried in terms of strength and longevity. And the watermelon stays the whole way through for this. I just think this is such a good perfume. I've had this for such a long time. I've tried quite a few from this Adidas range. There's a purple one that I had. There's a pink one that I had. A different type of pink. I think I might have had an orange one at one point, and none of them have stayed. They've all been a little bit too candy-like or too masculine. I had a blue one that smells like light blue as well. So those all went. This stayed because I think this is excellent. So yeah, I mean, this will obviously be in my watermelon video because I think it's one of the best options that you can find, if you can find it. I don't know if they make it anymore, but I still see it everywhere. Yeah, so it's just that's not much more to say about that one. I just think it's great, but I'll talk about it again in that vid. Okay, it's that time of year when I'm wearing all of my Acqua Colonias from 4711. I wanted something fruity, but I still needed it to be fresh because it was so hot. This very sadly was a limited edition, so I don't know whether you can still find this one. But this is the Pomegranate and Eucalyptus from Acqua Colonia. I just think this is beautiful because it has it's quite a sweet and syrupy version of pomegranate. It's not like watery or fresh particularly. It's quite... Yeah, there's a little bit of a thickness to this. It's not as sheer as some of the other Acqua Colonias. But because it has that eucalyptus, there is that mentholated coldness that really makes it still a great wear in cold weather. This is all getting a bit dark, isn't it? You going to lighten up for me? Well, hopefully you can still see it. It has got a dark label, to be fair. So yeah, I mean, I don't think, let me just check. Oh, this is one where they've given you more than just 2 notes. That's very rare for the Acqua Colonias. They don't normally tell you all the stuff that's in them, and definitely a lot of them have more than just 2 notes. So the top notes in Pomegranate and Eucalyptus are pomegranate in the top, middle notes of violet leaf and eucalyptus, base notes of musk and woody notes. So, I mean, there's not really much more to say about it. I just think it's a really pretty perfume. If you can come across it, I think it's lovely. But otherwise, it's tragedy. All right, so then a bit of a random one. I just fancied it because this also makes me think of watermelon a little bit, even though there is no watermelon in it. Yeah, just weirdly, this gives me a hint of watermelon, but this is a decant because I gave away my big bottle because there was no way I was going to use 200 mils of this. This is from Lush and this is Princess Peach. This was a body spray and then they redid it in the one of the Lush Times, what's it called, community, one of the community ones, like the limited edition when they did grape soda. Oh, please bring that back, Lush. Best body spray from Lush. They just called this Peaches, I think, in the end when they brought it back. Same scent though. This is Princess Peach. This was originally from their Mario Brothers collaboration when that movie came out, which I think is such a fun movie. Anyway, so the notes here are peach, pineapple, orange oil, Litsea, Cubea, Olibanum, Champaca, and Bucha. I don't know what that is. Some kind of interesting looking green leafy thing. It smells like fruit salad sweets. So it's got this kind of, I would say this almost smells like raspberry and pineapple in a weird way. That's what fruit salad sweets are, but it also has this strange vibe of watermelon when I wear it. I think it's really cute, it's really girly, it's very fruity. It's not particularly sophisticated, but it's fun, and I just really enjoyed it. It was really fun to wear it. I haven't worn this one since I very first got it, which is quite a long time ago. So yeah, that was a good one. So then we have a couple of new ones actually. This is a re-release. I hope it's still available at Zara and on the website now. You may know I didn't have any Zara perfumes. Because generally speaking, the ones that are just Zara, they always have that tarry aroma chemical in. They always give me like headache feels. Whatever it is that they put in their perfumes, I don't like. But the perfumes that are made by very famous perfumers often don't have that. I've never smelt one of the Zara ones from Jo Malone that has that tarry aroma chemical in it. And the same with some of the other special editions that have been done by famous perfumers. So anyway, I got Cherry Watermelon Ice. This is technically supposed to be a children's perfume. It is so light that makes sense. It says watermelon, lily of the valley and white woods on the back, and then you can see it says Jo. It's from Jo Love's collaboration. This came out ages ago and was in a different bottle, and now they've re-released it in this bottle. Rather cute. This actually has a magnetic cap, which is pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, this was $17.99, and I think that's a rip-off. This definitely does have a very watery watermelon rind kind of smell about it. I'm going to click on the other version because this says Watermelon, Lily of the Valley and White Woods. But if we click on the original version from Fragrantica, it says Watermelon, Green Leaves and Cardamom. So the chances are it's got all of those things. This is the kind of watermelon that I would describe as cucumbery. It's like, yeah, it's like a somewhere between watermelon and cucumber. Now, obviously, they're both super aquatic feeling fruit stroke vegetables. Is cucumber still a fruit? I feel like it's got tiny seeds in it, so it's probably technically a fruit. I just always think of it as a veg because it is a bit savoury and people tend to have it with savoury food. But I'm not getting anything that is cherry. I don't know why it's called cherry watermelon ice. It's very sheer, very light. It's therefore very refreshing. So I wore this on a very hot day and I didn't mind it at all. But it is very alcoholic and it's not particularly sweet. So I think if you just want something that's very refreshing, this is really pretty. It definitely has an unsweetened version of a watermelon. But yeah, I mean, especially because this is supposed to be a kid's perfume, for a 50ml bottle, for it to be this light and to be $17.99 seems like a little bit of a pish take, you know? So I couldn't smell this in store because they'd sold out. I do think they at the moment. So spoiler alert: I did get I think it's called a mochi in Paris or something like that. I picked that one up and I will talk about that one because that really reminds me of an expensive perfume. So I'll talk about that one when I get a chance. But I also smelt one that I had, but then I passed on because it was so sweet, which is, it's called like Rose Marshmallow or something. That was from the same collection as this, and it's come back in the same kind of bottle as this. That one is definitely worth the money. It's super sweet and marshmallowy and cute. I'm almost tempted, now that I like sweet perfumes more than I used to, I'm almost tempted to buy that, even though I know I don't need it. But that one is worth more money because it is stronger, it lasts longer. I never really liked the apple juice one from this collection, but I think this one, I mean, honestly, like, not more than a tenner for this, personally. It's fresh, it's pretty, I liked wearing it, I'm surprised at how light and how bad the performance is because, like I said, I had to buy this from the website because I couldn't smell it in the store. But anyway, I like it. I just can't believe that this costs so much more than this or this. And actually, to be honest, probably about the same price I paid for Still. And like the quality difference is astonishing. This is like 100% perfect quality. This is like a 5% in terms of quality. Well, that's a bit harsh. It's like, it's maybe like a 20% because the performance is just absolutely unacceptable. But anyway, it's basically a body spray, but it's an expensive body spray. I know body sprays are super trendy at the moment and everyone's charging ridiculous amount of money for them. But anyway, this is such a random one, guys. Now, I did an order from Perfume Click because there was just a bunch of stuff that I wanted and they had the best prices on everything. But I didn't have quite enough in my basket to get free delivery. And, you know, I'd rather get an extra perfume than pay for delivery if they're going to offer me free delivery over a certain amount. So I added this one to my basket because I thought, I'm just going to see what this smells like. I'm just interested. And I think it was something like £7 or £8 for a 30ml. So I was like, fine, I'm happy to try it. So, Blissful Fantasy from Britney Spears. Now, again, if you've been with me a long time, you'll know that the Fantasy range doesn't really work for me. Nearly all of them smell either screechy or chemically, or most of the time they just smell like a shampoo, and I don't like shampoo perfumes. But I was really interested in this one. If you look at the other side, there it is. Because it's got such mixed reviews, I'm kind of fascinated by like why this is so divisive. And it's got a melon note, not a watermelon, but a melon note. So I thought, I'm just going to see what this smells like. For that price, I'm very happy to test it out, knowing that I can give it to a colleague or put it in a bundle and sell it on, you know. So interesting. This is so interesting. So, firstly, I think in terms of the bottles, this is actually a rather nice one of the fancy bottles. I quite like this colour. I'm not sure how well it's showing up on the video, but I do think it's rather pretty. I like it. So, let's see what notes are in this. We've got top notes of melon, lily and freesia. We've got mid notes of tiare flower, tuberose and jasmine. And we've got base notes of musk, sandalwood and orris root. So I looked at these notes and I was like, there's literally no way this isn't going to be quite floral, because most of those notes are floral. But then I've heard loads of people describe this as a melon perfume, and then other people have described this as a floral perfume. Some people have said this is like a really expensive smelling perfume compared to the other fantasies, and then some people have said this smells so cheap. And I was like, this is so interesting to me that this has really divided people. So then I had a look at the comparisons, and now I've smelt this again. It's kind of interesting. So its top comparison is J'adore by Dior, which is a perfume that I do not like. And then it's got, what else has it got? It's got an Alexander McQueen, so that would suggest it's a tuberosy perfume. And then one of the Laura, what's her name ones, and I think I've got a sample of that. One of the Donna Born in Roma flankers. Is that Pink Peepee or something? I'm not sure what that one is. The Kim Kardashian perfume that's in her naked body. Which I remember being a beachy perfume, so I was like, I don't know what to expect from this. Oh, and Burberry London. So, I was surprised. This is a buttery and solar floral perfume. That's definitely what it is. There is a melon. I do get melon, and there is a juicy fruitiness, but in the main, it's a juicy fruitiness that is going along with a very, very floral perfume, and it's definitely buttery. I get the tiare flower the most, and then I get a little bit of jasmine and tuberose. I think in terms of it being compared to J'adore, I just don't like J'adore. I think it's screechy, I think it's sharp. There's something in that perfume that really bothers me. I find it a little bit old-fashioned smelling. I know loads of people love that one. I don't think it's because it's a bad perfume. I think there is just some kind of aroma chemical in that just doesn't work for me. It's one of those things that kind of is a bit eye-piercing to me. So I know there's a certain type of aroma chemical, Lancome use it all the time, that just bothers me. And I think that is in J'adore, and I think it's in most of the J'adore flankers. Because even if I spray it and I think it smells nice at first, it just turns so screechy to me. But this is much creamier, it is sweeter, it is softer, it's more modern smelling, and I think this is much closer to smelling a little bit like a sheer and more fruity kind of modern take on Burberry London. So Burberry London is one of those perfumes that I had and I think is beautiful, but the buttery flowers, with how strong that one was, I just couldn't really wear it. I was really sad to get rid of it because it's got a beautiful honeysuckle note, but the other florals in that, and I think there might be tiare flower in that as well, so strong. And the actual perfume, I mean, it is such good value because it is so strong. But that's the kind of perfume that I think probably, for me, smells best in warm weather, but it's way too strong for me to wear in warm weather. So I passed it on and I was sad about it because I do think it's gorgeous. It's got this kind of very syrupy fruity floral quality to it. It's just really lovely. This one, I feel like if you amped up the fruitiness, but if melon, so you've got that melon and it's like a honeydew kind of like honeyed sweet melon, but a slightly aquatic feel mixed in with those buttery florals, and just take away the honeysuckle, but you've still got the other florals from Burberry London. So if you imagine, this kind of smells like a summer edition of Burberry London. If you imagine like a summer EDT, like they have the Brit EDP and then the Brit EDT, and I like the Brit EDT in warm weather. This one really has that feel to me, and I kind of like it. I'm actually thinking I might keep this because it's like buttery florals, but it's not overwhelmingly so. And I have been training myself with buttery florals by wearing my Montguerlain, is it called L'Essence, I think it's called, or something. Is it that one? Or is it Sensual? I can't remember what it's called right now, unfortunately. But the one basically that has, I think it might be frangipani in that. But it has a buttery floral, a beachy floral mixed in with the normal Mongiela. But this, I think this dries down. It gets sweet. I think it's really pretty. I absolutely think that this is the most expensive smelling Fantasy I've smelt. It doesn't smell like shampoo. It doesn't smell chemically to me. It's so interesting that so many people don't like it. I kind of feel like maybe that's because the people who have the Fantasy line and love the Fantasy line often don't like kind of buttery florals or more traditional perfumes. Because someone also said, I was reading a review and it said, this has a little bit of the Curious DNA from like Britney's first ever perfume and a little bit of the DNA of something like Sunflowers from Elizabeth Arden. And I can totally see what they're saying. It's kind of like, it takes some elements of perfumes that smell a bit more classic, grown up and vintage, and then it makes them a little bit sheerer and mixes in a really nice aquatic, very sweet honeyed melon to give it like a little bit more of a modern twist. So yeah, I mean, this is by far my favourite Fantasy. Well, I mean, it is overall because I absolutely love the way that Midnight Fantasy smells in terms of its profile, but the shampoo-y quality in that is absolutely head-splitting to me. So I can't wear that. I even tried the body spray and that was even more shampoo-y. I couldn't cope with it. This one I think I could actually wear, and I think I might wear. It almost has, like, for me, because it is so floral, it's got a little bit of a summer special occasion feel to it. You know, I think that's where I would wear it. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a really good one. I think it's the best one I've smelt. I do have another one that I'll talk about in the watermelon video that I think I like the smell of, but the quality is absolute crap. This is nice. Like, you can smell this on yourself. It's actually good. So anyway, I'll finish up with this little guy. Let's have a quick sniff. Oh, and actually, I did smell some things in Selfridges, so I'll add that on to the end. I wore this one on one of the hot days, and I wanted to smell like laundry. Oh, it's so good. Clean Classic. This is Warm Cotton. So Clean Classic Warm Cotton. I think it's yummy. It's just properly, again, it smells like, I mean, it kind of does smell like warm laundry, but at the same time, it's got a real crispness to it, as I think most of the laundry scents from Clean do. So the notes listed for Warm Cotton is citrus and verbena in the top, mid notes cotton flower, sea notes, orange blossom and fruits, base notes musk and amber. Let me sniff this. I wonder if this is closer to the original Clean than the Clean that they're currently calling Clean Classic, the original. This is Clean Classic Warm Cotton. This is more citrusy. I'm trying to work out, I mean, I feel like that cotton smell is quite strong, and maybe the sea notes has given it a slightly saltiness, but it is quite citrusy. It's just great. It just smells, again, like, I mean, it just smells like laundry. It just smells like laundry. It does smell different from the Clean Classic original, but somehow they both just smell like different types of laundry, like you just use different types of detergent and fabric conditioner, but they both smell like clean laundry. So beautiful and lovely. I think it's great. So I was in Selfridges and I went and smelt some of the Flur body sprays because I had said in one of my videos that I really wanted to smell, is it vanilla nectar or something? Let me look it up. Just because I just liked, anything that says nectar will get me. If it says nectar, I'm going to want to smell it because, I don't know, perfumes that have a nectary quality, I might have to have a think about that. And I might have to try and make a video about nectary perfumes. But anyway, so Fleur Vanilla Nectar, let's see. So the notes in Vanilla Nectar are apricot, papaya, sugar and tangelo. Mid notes are peach, blossom, coconut, orchid and jasmine. Base notes vanilla, amber and cedar. And I will tell you, it is one of the sweetest things I've ever smelled. I was amazed. It's too sweet. I think it's a bit of a shame because I understand. I know that there's loads of people who like extremely sweet gourmands. But I think with apricot and Tangelo and Papaya, you could have had something that had a slightly less sickly feel, and it would have been just absolutely magical, like truly magical. But it really smells very similar to the one I decluttered, Comptoir Sud Pacifique Vanilla Apricot. That's what it smells like. And that perfume is sweet to the point where I just couldn't wear it. Like, I think I wore it once or twice when I first got it, and I was like, it's kind of fun, and it is really fun and pretty. But the levels of sugary sweet vanilla in that was so overwhelming to me. And I found exactly the same thing with this body spray. I mean, I'd say it's pretty strong. You wouldn't need much. And I imagine it's ridiculously expensive for a body spray. So I bet you they're like over 30 quid, which is crazy for a body spray. But at least this one would be good value. But yeah, let me just have a look at what it's been compared. Oh, there we go. So its top comparison is Vanille from, what is that company called? I can't remember what they're called. Outremer, that's the one. And I think that's literally vanilla and candy floss. So yeah, very sweet. And then the second comparison is vanilla apricot. Yeah. It's just so strong and sweet. It's so strong and sweet. Yeah, I mean, if you like extremely sweet things, I think the problem is because it's so sugary sweet with vanilla and actual sugar, it doesn't smell nectary to me. I think it's too sweet. I think you need something a little bit more juicy mixed in there, something a little bit fresher to give it a really nectary quality. I think the mix isn't quite right, but that's just me. I actually smelt some other Flur ones as well when I was there, and I just don't think I paid much attention to them. I definitely, that's what it was. I sniffed beach skin. Very briefly, and I thought that was quite nice. I didn't make any notes on it though. I sniffed briefly peach skin, and I preferred that to vanilla nectar, vanilla nectar. And actually, I think that smells more like something I would call nectar. So I'd be quite interesting to smell peach skin again. I might actually try that one. And Fleur vanilla smoke, I was like, yeah, that's okay. Heavy cream, They've only just got these into Selfridges, I think. They didn't have heavy cream the last time I went in. That one came out last year. But heavy cream was quite nice, but I much prefer Philosophy Fresh cream, really, if you're going for a creamy scent. But yeah, so guys, I think that's it. I'm going to a wedding. I'm filming this on Friday because I want to get it ready for Sunday, but I'm going to a wedding on Saturday. So you will hear what perfume I chose to wear to my husband's cousin's wedding. You'll hear about that next week. Let me know what you've been wearing. If you're in the UK especially and it's been like crazy hot, let me know what you've been like fighting the weird, humid UK heat with, and what your favourites have been. Let me know if you've got any of these. Please do subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I say that every time, but you know it makes a massive difference to my channel. So thank you to everyone who already has and who might in the future. And yeah, I hope you've all had a nice week. I hope everyone's having a lovely time. I'm sitting here in a partially dark room, enjoying a bit of a breeze and having a bit of time to myself because I've got today off. So very, very nice. Look at me working on my hobby on my day off. I'm so dedicated. All right, guys. It's lovely to talk to you as always. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.